This is Mike Edwards and welcome to the AssetOptics Quick Start Learning Series. In today's session, we're going to learn about service parts as part of the MRO inventory management solution. We have 4 specific learning objectives for today. 1, to learn the data elements of a service part. 2, to learn the data elements of a part bin location. 3, how to set up new service parts. And 4, how to set up new part bin locations. So, what is a service part? A service part is it's a stock item. You must specify a storeroom when setting up new service parts. The storeroom defines the physical location, the building where this item is kept. The second key object that we're going to look at here is the part bin location. The part bin location is the location inside of the storeroom where we are managing that on-hand inventory. By default, there are 5 segments that are set up on the part bin location record. Those are row, section, level, bin, and divider. As we consider our inventory management data model, the product catalog, that is the standard Salesforce product object, represents the catalog master. When you associate a product with a storeroom, that then creates a service part record. It is at the service part record where we manage on-hand quantity and where we perform inventory transactions. At the service part, you can have many bin locations. The bin locations define the physical location inside of the storeroom where you manage that on-hand inventory quantity. So let's take a look at setting up a new part. And the example that we're going to use today is going to be a 6202 double shielded bearing. Now, I happen to already have that item set up in the product catalog, so we're just going to go ahead and set this up as a service part or a stock item for storeroom number 2. So we're going to click the Service Parts tab, we're going to click the New Command button, and we're going to go to the Product Lookup, and we're going to go search for a 6202 bearing. Type in 6202, click Go, and we can see here that we have a 6202 2RS 5/8. So we're going to go create a stock item record tied off of here. Now I'm just going to copy this product description, make it a little easier for us. I'm going to select this item, put it in here into the product description, and we're going to actually make the part ID the same as the product ID. We're going to leave the nameplate data blank for now. So let's take a look at some of the other key attributes for this. The ERP part number is just a reference number. Manufacturer, this is a lookup to the account object where the manufacturer checkbox is set to true. It's an optional filter field. You can clear it off. Manufacturer part number. If we look under here under serialized component setup, this example is dealing with bulk stock inventory, so we're going to discuss serialized inventory in another session. The storeroom, select the storeroom that you want to associate this part with, and we're going to choose storeroom number 2. The minimum stocking quantity. The minimum stocking quantity represents your minimum on hand that you wish to keep. You can call it a safety stock, but it is when the available quantity falls below the minimum stocking quantity, then the system calculates automatically how many you need to purchase to meet your minimum quantity and to satisfy work order demand. So let's say that we want to keep a minimum of 6. Now we can have a stock unit of measure that is different than our purchase unit of measure. If we look down here under the ordering information, and if it is, we would actually specify a pack quantity. So if we purchase these in a box and there were 10 in a box, we would set it up this way. In this example though, we're going to set up the stock unit of measure and the purchase unit of measure to be the same, so the pack quantity will be 1. We're going to look up and we're going to associate a preferred vendor for this particular item. And I'm just going to go in my recent list, we're going to assign this to McMaster Car, and we can put in a McMaster Car part number. I'm just going to call this 6202 XYZ for now. The purchase price is in the purchase unit of measure. So we're going to say $5.35 each for these particular bearings right here. And then under cost and usage, all of these attributes are automatically populated when transactions occur. There are 3 different valuation methods that you can set up and that you can track: standard, last in, weighted average. Recommendation is to use weighted average unless you have very specific instructions otherwise. So we're going to save this. Now you'll notice that this primary, before I hit the save button, you'll notice that the primary bin location field is blank. When we save this record, a bin location will be automatically created and set to the primary. Now you'll notice it's nothing but a bunch of dashes right here, and that is because on this bin location record we have not specified a row, section, level, bin, and divider. There's a field update workflow that automatically concatenates that string together so that you would get row dash, section dash, level dash, bin dash, divider, and those particular 5 segments. Now, if we want to go and we want to update this so that we can, have a real location, I'm going to click on Edit, and we're going to choose. We're going to say that we keep this on row 1, section D, level 5. Now, if you have bins and dividers set up in these pick list values, you can certainly continue to select those, but you do not have to use all of those. So we're just going to say we're using 3 segments, and this will end up saying 1-D-5, and then there will be some extra dashes on it. So we're going to go ahead and save that, and you'll notice that the primary bin location here has been updated. We can see this segment down here. Now, if you want to have a secondary bin location, you can create a new secondary bin location here by saying New Bin Location. The bin ID is a required field. I'm going to type in New, and then we're going to choose what that secondary bin location is. We're going to say 5C4, and we're going to click Save. And we're going to go back up to this part record, and we'll see here. Now we have 2 bin locations. What determines which is the primary bin is which bin that you select and you specify in the stocking information section. So if this field is completely blank, both of these will actually be secondary bin locations, or neither will be the primary bin location. You can look up and you can specify which you desire to have as the primary bin location. When you look up bins, so that you don't have to know them all, you can select the all fields, and you can just merely type the word bin, and it will return back to you all of the bin locations that are set up for that particular part. We're going to choose 5C4 to be the primary bin location. It is highly recommended that you have a primary bin location specified. While you can perform inventory issue transactions and gain and shrink adjustments by selecting the bin during purchase order receiving off of a PO, the receipt transactions are automatically placed into the primary bin. Thus, you must have a primary bin specified. So, in summary, let's take a look at the overall information here for the stock item record. We have an on-hand quantity of 0. It's a brand new part. We have a work order open commit quantity of 0. That is, since we just set this part up, we have not planned it onto any work orders, and thus we do not have a demand. Available quantity. The available quantity is you take the on-hand quantity and subtract away the work order open commit quantity. When the available quantity falls below the minimum quantity, then the system calculates how many I need to order to replenish. And it also takes into account how many are already on order so that it won't keep prompting you to order and order. So we'll see here that we have a stock unit of measure quantity to reorder of 6. So that is to meet this particular minimum demand since we don't have any. Of course, if this minimum quantity were 4, we would see that the calculated replenishment quantity is 4. Bin locations, you can have many bin locations. Only one of them is the primary bin location, and you define that by selecting it here. This concludes our session on stock item inventory management. We had 4 very specific learning objectives. 1, to learn what are the fields on the service part and how to create a new part. And then also what are the fields on the bin location, as well as how to create a new bin location. Thank you.